Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for May 16th through the 22nd, 2022. So before we begin, I'd just like to welcome everyone who is returning to this weekly series, and also to welcome anyone who is also new to our angelic community. Just a few small announcements. I think not much today, but just in case you have not seen the zodiac readings, which I call monthly angel scopes, for each zodiac sign. There are 13 videos posted, and if you haven't seen them, make sure you go to my channel on the community board, possibly. I don't know what to tell you directly to go, but just click on my channel and look through my most recent videos, and you will find those 12 videos there, each for each sign of the zodiac. And some people follow their sort of their moon and also rising signs as well. So you can use it however you wish to assist you. For the month of May and also the general reading, I've also posted. I don't think everybody's seen it from the numbers I've looked at. So just a reminder to also, if you haven't seen the general monthly angel reading, that's also posted there. And if you, at the end of this video, if you have enjoyed it, please remember to subscribe, to also check to make sure that your all notification bell is still selected. Some people are not getting the content as it's coming up, so you might want to go look into your settings to make sure that you've allowed permissions for you to receive the notifications of your subscriptions. So you may have that turned off, because sometimes it can be a bit much when it shows up on your phone. So that might be the reason why, one reason as well. So check that. Also like and comment, as that also helps generate the algorithms to be more favorable to the channel, and also it brings to you my content regularly in your feed, as well as others whose content might be similar to my own. And if you're looking for an angel reading, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services, and for this year, since it's my 10th anniversary, I'm offering my first-time promotional offer reading, unlimited to everyone for this year. So now, and all of this information, is in the description link below for my website, my social media pages, etc. And I haven't posted on my Instagram. Thought I had it figured out, and then I don't have it figured out. Like the formula I was using to get the text to fit into a photo format, I was not able to finagle it to do it again. So I'm having trouble with that. So I'll have to figure that out again. Until I do, maybe I won't be able to post it there at all, or I'll have to think of something else I'm going to post. But if you haven't gone to my Instagram account, it's Angel Wisdom 444 for now, and there's a link below. So just subscribe there as well. All right, let's take a deep breath together, and as you do this, we're just going to call in all of your angels, And the angels, you might feel them warming your heart chakra. So just allow your attention and your focus to be present with your heart chakra. And just to allow, to think, to receive their unconditional love. And allow yourself to be vulnerable. Because our fear comes from judgments or assumptions that we've made about how things might turn out. And when we're afraid, the right temptation, this triggers temptations within us that may not be healthy for us, or patterns that we're trying to overcome. And so when you feel that you're confronting your fears, it is important for you to really be vulnerable and compassionate towards yourself and for the perception of fear that you feel that you need to give attention to. And you have good reasons, but the thing is, the angels want you to understand that you're in the present. You're no longer in a past experience. And most often, our reactions to the future, as well as the present, but it's usually, if you notice, because if in the present, you don't have time to be afraid of something. In the present, it's the future starts at the very next anticipated moment nearest your present one. That's where your fears begin to exist. And this is what every waking moment of your day is consumed by when anxieties or fears overwhelm. It's about the nearest present moment in the future to the present moment that you're currently existing in. And that is coming out of this illusion of time. And it's also coming from these past experiences. And instead of relying on the faith of your heart, we're relying on memories pieced together to be the information, the old information, the outdated information we're using to inform us about where we're moving forward. And when those two things come together, you feel restriction and limitation. Fear. That's what it is, restriction and limitation. And it's also not keeping your eyes open, not only to your present and that current status of your present moment, but also from this moment, the awareness of what you might be able to build upon in the next future, the nearest future moment. See, the thing is that in the present moment, if you can clear your mind of the past experiences and focus sincerely where you are, you can establish or reestablish where you want to go forward from that platform, from this current platform. You can build upon that. And you first have to accept that you don't know, and you don't need to know. about what the next future moment will be. Because where the future is actually created is in every present moment that you live to its fullest. It's up to you to decide within that present moment to be as happy as it is possible for you to be in that moment. Don't make happiness the finish line. Like as if you don't get there first, or if you don't get there at all, but that intention that you were, that from wherever you were to wherever your imaginary finish line of happiness is that from that moment you started to engage happiness. And if you're engaging happiness, even though you haven't reached your finish line, that's the present awareness. That's being fully open to your desire right now, not waiting until a goal is attached with it to say, to validate for you that it's complete. You don't need that validation. Your soul doesn't need it, because your soul already is full of happiness, and your soul is already living out every potential possibility of happiness that you would ever desire or have already desired. The only thing that you have to do is start in your present moment, living in the happiness that you want. Choose making choices that will allow you to experience happiness, pleasure, excitement. And your higher self is inspiring you with the full content of everything that you've ever desired or wanted. And what you've ever desired or wanted was one thing: to live in this present moment in your human awareness to the fullest potential, that which might equate to joy or abundance. But that peace, all of these things, love, but none of them are necessary for you to have them with an attachment of some kind of outcome. The outcomes, the physical manifestation of any of these things are not necessary. They are an added bonus, and they matter, but they really don't matter. They don't matter unless you can sustain through a practice of being happy, living life to the full. You know, so when I was talking about this time thing last week, and what I found is that I have to tell myself, screw time, you know, screw schedule, screw this, anything that suggests time. Because what that does is I'm living the time becomes the goal. And when you think of time as your goal or your finish line, then you don't think about the space in between time that fills in the time where you can experience these great emotions, and where these great emotions can be channeled through some unique creative expression. And I don't care what it is that you're doing, whether it's something that you have to do or that you choose to do, if you had to write a boring letter for your job, the letter is, the act of writing the letter is your choice to be boring or for you to enjoy using your skill to the fullest, and then that giving you pleasure. Taking into account the idea of purpose for it, whatever the purpose for writing the letter is, you take into account the purpose of your role, that you're being able to serve in that capacity, and you do it with joy, and you do it with all the resources of your own abundance of intelligence, etc. And if you are just engaged in all of what that is, you are fully in the present moment, and time is not your goal, but the purpose of finding fulfillment, being all that you can be, giving everything that is right for you to give in that moment, is what you becomes your knowing, becomes what consumes all about that time frame that you spent. Not about the time and meeting the timeline, getting it done, or just going through the motions to get it done. Going through the motions is time. So multitasking comes to my mind right now. And a lot of people who multitask are just going through the motions for the most part. There might be some who find complete fulfillment of self, and they find pleasure and delight in this when they're doing it. But a lot of people are not gifted at multitasking, pointing over here. And so when you're doing that, you're just going through the motions, which means you're trying, your focus is on time, trying to make time more efficient. And in doing so, if you're not enjoying what your purpose is that you've chosen for yourself, then you are practicing, and I want to get this correct, but you're practicing evading happiness, as if you don't even think to approach it. So therefore, you don't know how to be the things that your soul is calling for. A lot of what we want is what our soul is calling for. It wants you to be happy. It wants you to know pleasure. You know, it wants you to understand all these things through your physical experience, because that's why the physical experience was given to us. But through the context of the soul, the spirit, which I can only fathom is in that moment, that connection with spirit is that connection with oneness. That connection with oneness is that connection with God. That alignment in that relationship allows for the space of time to always have the potential to be completely fulfilled, no matter what you get to do or you have to do. And so it was so interesting when the angels touched us. I could feel them touching our hearts, lighting up this flame, asking us to open ourselves to everything. Don't judge it as fear, but open yourself because your fear truly is an illusion. It's an illusion of time. And we're not here to focus on the illusion of time. That is why we fear death, because we're constantly thinking about the illusion of time. That I don't have much time, or I need to get this done before this part of my life happens, this time of my life happens, right? Like most people, and I don't mean to be insensitive by saying this as a male, but you know, we think about being parents, right? And that there's a time for it, and time running out for it. When we live in this construct, this is the construct that has been keeping us from accessing the fifth dimensional blueprint all along. Time and space. We are in a physical experience, but let's focus on the space. How is it being filled in the present moment? Are you worrying? And if you are, you know what that's all about. That's all about the past, and you're making assumptions on the nearest future moment, which traps you in a time setting, past time setting, and it's ruining the potential of your future time setting. And totally, nobody really knows or understands their present time. Like, most of us have no idea about present time, when we're in it, except when we're doing something inspiring and creative, when we're in our zones. And then we don't recognize present time as being present time because it just feels eternal. It feels effortless. It feels endless, limitless. You feel pleasure or joy or delight or excitement or enthusiasm, passion, reverence. Okay, so let's take a look at the archangel that we're working with this week. And it's Archangel Raphael. I often see, this is the Archangel Michael that pops up to me the most daily, Archangel Raphael. Now, Archangel Raphael is known as the Archangel of Healing, but also the Archangel of Abundance. And Archangel Raphael works with our third eye chakra. And think about this, our vision of the future, but it's also our vision of insight as well. It's hindsight, insight, and foresight. And sometimes we need to heal our hindsight, the things that have passed, our perception of them. If any part of time, as we know it, is weighed down by grief or burden or guilt or shame, then our entire vision, hindsight, insight, and foresight have the potential to become contaminated in varying degrees. Most people find that if their hindsight, their past is really, really deeply grieved and burdened, that their foresight, their future sight, their ability to have hope in the future is just as weighted as the past. And so therefore, they feel stuck. They feel imprisoned in the present, and insights don't flow, don't break through the illusions to give enough clarity. And clarity is like breath. It's like oxygen. And when we can't get enough clarity, we don't have enough oxygen. So we feel like we're suffocating in our lives, in our experiences. And this is not the desire or the wish. This is not the way your reality was created. That is to say, your soul reality is not created this way. And therefore, every negative emotion is the result of your soul reality letting you know that you are experiencing a lie, an illusion, that you are not in alignment or in harmony with oneness or God. And so the only way to really break through is to not be afraid when you are vulnerable, when you feel vulnerable, when you feel anxiety, when you feel fear. Go towards the light, meaning go towards it, because see, the light, like the sun, is always hiding behind the darkest clouds. It's still burning as efficiently and as bright as ever, and even more so. And you must go towards the light. You'll see the light, because no matter how dark the clouds are, there is no complete darkness as long as the sun of your soul is still shining. And usually what the fear, your ego projects your fear in order to prevent you from going towards that spot where the light is trying to get through. And most obey. You must rebel against this. And you must go towards your own light and be free. And the more you get in the habit of doing this, the more that you will be able to breathe in the clarity. Once the insights come through, your hindsight will elevate and your foresight with it. And this is how your vibration rises, your frequency rises. And when your frequency rises, you don't have to do anything else. It's automatic now that you will attract new levels of awareness, new levels of abundance. See, I'm going to say this is going to sound really awful, but abundance exists on all levels, from negativity to positive, to the most positive positivity, because you are always abundantly getting what you are focused upon. I mean, ask and you shall receive. You've never not received. That is something you have to accept. When you do, it makes it easier to stop the idea, of course, is to not be the victim, play the victim. But better than this, it helps you to recognize that you are living your life to the fullest, no matter what you choose. So then if you don't like that kind of fullness, start moving towards other forms of fullness. And you'll know that through your emotions. So being vulnerable, restricting your emotions out of fear, anxiety, is the total opposite of what you need or want. Use them to help guide you, to help you to know who you are, to know what you truly want. Don't use them as weapons against you to enslave you. So you can call upon Archangel Raphael to touch your third eye and to touch these aspects of your sight, hind, in, and fore, to ramp it up with abundance. And abundance isn't just about things. Abundance is about this fulfillment, the fullness of oneness, all of the emotions together are oneness. But that feeling when they all come together must be something like bliss, right? Or in the physical human experience, the pleasure of orgasm. It's got to be something this grand when all of our emotions come together, whole and healed. All right, so let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week. Look at that, the Eight of Swords, that prison. Okay, and so this is giving us a sense that you have an opportunity to heal and break through this prison of our own making. And notice that sun that I was talking about, the sun of your soul, is shining above. And there's a dove that represents a messenger from heaven. Holy Spirit, your higher self, your I am presence, God. If you pray for clarity, if you pray for abundance of insight, don't worry about the future or the past. Pray for the present. Pray for an abundance of insight to help you tear down this cage you've imposed upon yourself by not giving in to the same patterns or beliefs or assumptions. Okay, we have some tough cards here. The Nine of Wands. And you see her crawling sort of to the top of this hill, lighting these candles. And I get a sense it's like in this week, the angels are asking you to keep those candles lit. Think about, they write the word perseverance in front of me. Think about the things that light you up. And they're writing the word comparison. Don't compare, don't make comparisons with anybody else. Only think about and care about what are the things, they wrote the word occupations, in front that light you up. And do that this week. Whatever gives you pleasure. Whatever gives you pleasure. No matter how big it is or small it is. And they say that it really, they want you to and don't look for explanations they're writing. Because I get a sense that show me something really big. And I'll share it with you. whenever I see the male penis, this is my symbol for a manifestation, right? And so what they're telling me in this is that they want you to go for something really big, because you keep undervaluing yourself and you don't go for the pleasures that you truly want or desire. And they want you to get in the habit of expressing yourself, no matter how big it is. Express yourself. Give yourself that emotional experience. And they give me a sense that this will raise your frequency if you can focus on those things that provide you the most hope, the most pleasure, and to persevere in this week, no matter how much you tell yourself you're doing something stupid. And they also want you to congratulate yourself. They want you to talk to yourself and congratulate, every little thing. You may not get, it's not about the big goal, right? It's not about the goal, but it's about the pursuit of happiness. It's about living to the fullest, even if you don't achieve the desired outcome. But that in the attempt of trying to, that in that moment, that space of trying, that you give you give everything, which is to say that you give everything that is the best of you so that you can receive all that is the best for you. All right, let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. Again, tough cards. We got 7 of Cups. And, this is a card of usually just feeling overwhelmed about choices, not knowing which choice to make. And this is really about this to me is a relationship card about not trusting ourselves. Procrastination is about we don't trust ourselves. We practice it. You are inspired. Something is shining in the center, clear as day. But you will, once you say, should I do that? Or do I deserve that? Once you ask a question that just doubts, let's say you say, I want to do this. And then you say, your heart says, I want this now. And then you say, but do I really want to do that? Or is that the right time for me to do that? Once you do that, you create the practice of denying, knowing what you want and where you're being guided. So they want you to avoid doing this. Catch yourself when you feel inspired. Go for it. Take the risk. So what? You're going to be vulnerable. Go for it. Find out who you really are behind all of those restrictions. Find out who you really are. Go for it. All right, let's take a look at the card from the bottom of the deck. And the Ace of Swords. And this for me is the clarity card. That you get this new sense of clarity. Something comes in, aha moments, right? And what I get a sense is that you're going to have a lot of aha moments. And this is that third chakra healing, that's your third eye, of all the different forms of sight. The elevation of the mind. See, when you have this abundance in your third eye, your abundance of vision, then your mindset is uplifted. You receive clarity, and clarity uplifts your mental processes. It uplifts the way you reason. It makes you look at things. It makes you less inhibited because you see things not through the lens of your fear, but through the lens of opportunity. So, in essence, look for opportunities for yourself this week. What do you deserve? And they wrote universally. They mean this on a very universal scale. Remember, your soul doesn't need outcomes or material things to know itself, to know happiness, to know pleasure. They're writing yes, yes, yes. Your soul does not need those things. Your ego has convinced you that you need them. And that's why the world has become just one large greed factor. Consuming. That's why we've become a society of consumers. Because we have a disconnect with our soul. Our soul's purpose is not of those things. The soul does not want to deny them to you. But if you don't know where your soul's true purpose lies, then you are vulnerable to becoming just simply a consumer and someone who simply just goes through the motions and totally eclipses your ability to really experience the fireworks of your spiritual being. And I say that fireworks, but I mean emotions. These emotional experiences is everything, because they trigger the automatic material manifestations. See, you weren't put here to equate your success or achievement by the physical things. You came here to experience the fireworks, the emotions, the spectrum of emotions. And those emotions, those sparks, were meant to automatically, worry-free, unconditionally bring to you the physical things, manifestations, things that you need in all forms, so that you could experience this ease of the pleasures and happiness, etc., and peace. It is supposed to come not at a price, but freedom, freely. The only thing that you are meant to do is live in the fullness, space of time, to the fullest of your potential. If you can do that, then because when you give yourself that, then you understand you deserve, which means you pay for your ticket without having to ever pay for the ticket, meaning there is no price. And you get what you deserve. What you deserve is everything. But you don't want it, in truth, because your soul only wants the fireworks. So that means if you don't need it. It's just a reward, if that makes sense. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful, beautiful week. God bless.